Contrary to how people behave online and contrary to the more high-profile outings, Sonic is still cool. 2D Sonic is hard to talk about because of how fantastic Sonic Mania is. The drop dash alone is one of the coolest things in gaming. Then they went the extra mile of throwing in mean beans, which just soothes the soul. Before Mania, most of the 2D outings were kinda lackluster, but there's one heavy hitter, one champion that I think deserves more fun in the sun when we're talking about Sonic. For me, that's gotta be Sonic Rush. This one has, and will always be in my heart, one of the coolest versions that we ever got of Sonic. Dimps and Sonic Team got together and decided that they want to go really fast, but they want to do that on 2 screens. This is where the magic is made. A shame that they were later involved in making Sonic 4. How does that happen? Burnout? Were they too scared of being this cool again? The answer is yes. Sonic Rush was the first game to introduce a mechanic that I've grown to hate by association with other games, and that is the boost mechanic. But here it's actually fun. Let me explain before the boost fans crucify me. My main beef with boost is that it's just become a lazy way to take out a bunch of other movement options for Sonic. I love Sonic Adventure's Spin Dash because of how versatile it is to gain quick speed or just shoot off of angles and stuff like you're playing pool. Sonic Adventure 2's Bounce Bracelet was a fun little thing to mess around with as well. Losing options like this in favor of just boosting and stomping kinda made me a bit sad. Mix that in with levels clearly getting lazier as Boost Era went on, and you kinda just start blaming this gameplay style for the games getting stale. But maybe I'm just getting a little too much in my feelings, so let's skip past that. Sonic Rush's boost system feels fun because of the ways that you find yourself building up the boost meter. For the most part, you're going to be hitting air tricks by just pressing jumps again, and having Sonic stimming. But it's fun to manage your speed while mixing these in during gameplay. The feedback when you max out the boost meter and Sonic starts glowing and all the cheering sound and this dazzling ass sound playing also is satisfying as a fun little reward. The boost is even unlimited as long as you can keep your combo up. We got something of a skill ceiling brewing here, and the game is just rewarding you for being cool. The R button is also used the same way that the Sonic Advance games ended up using it. You can gain a bit of height in midair when bouncing off of level obstacles, or you could just kick through some obstructions. Sometimes this will result in a homing attack, which I can never really get working, but that clunk aside, this is a fun moveset for Sonic, I think. If you're not bouncing off of a level obstacle and press R in midair, he does his little air dash, which is useful for the game's bosses mainly, or just to build up speed pretty fast. The boost also gets extra utility for gathering the Chaos Emeralds. In each zone, you can get a new one by finding these things. I don't know what to call them. If you have enough boost meter, you get your portal to the special stage. The special stages are kind of fun, requiring the touch screen and you just gotta have enough rings, Sonic 2 style. The twist being these air tricks where you gotta tap the buttons in numerical order, or the times where you need to do a homing attack by tapping an enemy to get over obstacles. The last one is the only one that gave me trouble, like holy shit. I don't know if it's actually this hard or I'm dog shit, but this one actually gave me like a run for my money. The rest of the game isn't all that challenging. The real clinchers in my eyes are the bosses, but they are really fun. Most of your deaths in the game are going to be by bottomless pits punishing overuse of boost.
Is that death? Are you?
But that's fine, even if a lot of them are kind of bullshit, I'm not gonna lie. If anything, the game strikes a good balance with challenge, with the way that it handles its game overs. You get a game over, well, you're gonna get sent back. You gotta hit 2 levels and a boss fight. As a kid, this did piss me off, but these days I miss game overs. It adds stakes to this shit. Lets you remember more. I get some people will be like, I don't want to replay shit to get to where I was. But if that's your viewpoint, you might as well just watch Let's Plays instead of playing games. I get that they can be frustrating if a bunch of Mickey Mouse bullshit is killing you, but overcoming these challenges gives me a certain satisfaction that makes me feel good about myself, and that I can really change. Maybe one day I'll be successful and make lots of money. Perhaps I might even find myself a wife and be a wonderful father to my beloved children. And the day that I lay in my deathbed, it will be with a smile surrounded by all those who I've helped out and impacted significantly in a sort of bittersweet sense, because this is the dimension where I'm loved. Speaking of dimensions, this game's story is a plot about dimensional merging. Sonic and Blaze are both the respective sort of heroes in the universe. In place of Eggman, Blaze has Eggman Nigga. Most of the cutscenes, save for some of the CG scenes of Sonic snapping his fingers, is presented in this comic style where the characters just talk, but that's fine. It's nice that each get their own navigator. Sonic gets Tails, and Blaze gets Cream. But if you know about Sonic Advance 2 Cream, Blaze better watch her back. Cream's a goddamn demon. She will solo the entire Sonic cast. Some of the character interactions, while mostly pointless, are still nice to see. Knuckles is so mad that Blaze exists that he just clears the road to get to the next level, so thanks bro. The game sadly does have a case of what I like to call Devil May Cry 4 fever. Sonic and Blaze essentially share the same levels and bosses. They just visit the zones in different orders, and that really sucks. I yearn for the days where I could pick Shadow and access a crazy banging level like White Jungle. Blaze for the levels is an easy mode sort of character. She gets to hover, which makes skips easy as hell. However, I think that she just sucks for bosses. Sonic is always faster than Blaze and gets his little air dash to build up speed. The way the bosses track you here makes it damn near impossible for Blaze to pick up any speed to get out of the way. This mostly got me when it came to the insta-kill attacks some bosses have. Thankfully, at least while playing as Blaze, we don't have to redo any of the special stages. She kinda just gets her emerald after every zone is cleared. You know, a lot more responsible. Going along with talking about the bosses, I really like him here. The style in which everything is presented makes them some frantic ass fights. We have the banging soundtrack that speeds up when you get to the last two hits. Sometimes you get this Klonoa style arena that loops around itself. The bosses don't even mind being cheap at times, and they never really let up. There's still attacks on here that I have no idea how to dodge, so I just keep trying to balance the ring count, holding on to my one ring. But then the game has this thing where, hey, the more you get hit, the further the rings are gonna fly away from you, and it's like, fuck me, man, I gotta learn how to dodge these attacks. For a 2D game, it's kind of impressive how we got this shifting camera angles and stuff on a DS, especially in 2005. Getting that last hit in is so damn satisfying because you get the Bayonetta thing going where the cameraman snaps pics of you for personal reasons. The DS sound quality also gets blown the fuck out for boss attacks, but I'll accept the ear rape in these cases because they at least help in making the attacks feel like really powerful. Like, listen to this.
Get ready to be cool.
Whoa! Shiver me timbers! My favorite boss is this spinning one because you can sneak an extra hit in by bouncing off the enemy that it spawns. Lining that up is just too satisfying. It's a shame we can't use the boost for boss fights though. You'd think they'd lean into that, but for the most part it's just some honest to god obstacle dodging. Hitting the flow state in these levels is so damn fun as well. When you do good in a level, you feel good. But I guess that goes for all 2D Sonic games. Doing tricks in the air freely, or shuffling on the grind rails while the crowd is cheering you on, just goes off. The sense of speed just kicks ass, which is why the only zone that I truly despise is this sand one. This whole thing here with the rocks falling and the auto-scrolling platform just blows balls. It's a bit sad since they did this nice little thing here where you can travel between a kind of foreground and background floor, Streets of Rage style. Every other level gimmick is fine and mostly serves to let you keep going fast in a different way, but this one just, didn't sit right with me, and I'm like, damn, this sucks. Getting all the emeralds is Sonic and beating the game twice unlocks the finale. It's a pretty fun boss fight once you figure it out. Sonic has to blast back Eggman's projectiles and Blaze is just throwing fireballs. I like how they knock him back and forth through the screens. It's kind of cool. Had fun with it. Also, you already know where I'm going with this one. That soundtrack, baby. The soundtrack in this game fucking slaps. Hideki Naganuma fucking went off here in ways that I wish to see again in more games. With something like Jet Set Radio, where we're just kind of roaming around, there's not really a theme for any song to line up with, so he's just sort of freestyling, with whatever sounds cool, and he did. With a more straightforward game like Sonic, he has to make a greater amount of contextual music for the scenarios, and he went off. Like, I like it like this. Choosing a favorite here is hard because it changes like every week. I love little things like the silhouette effect before a level starts and then the rest of the instruments kicking in when you take control and all the colors fill the screen. The soundtrack just goes hard as hell and blends really nicely with the voice clips and all the sound effects. I think this might be why I love this game despite the whole having to replay it thing and some of the jank. Overall, I would still recommend this game. It goes at its hardest when you do a playthrough of Sonic and just get through it. I really wish there were more levels or at least differences between Sonic and Blaze's levels, but that's just a testament to how fun the base game is. It isn't my favorite 2D Sonic sadly because Mania is just that good, but it's the coolest Sonic that we ever gotten in terms of gameplay. If you haven't sat through at least one playthrough yourself, give it a shot, cause this feels like a hidden gem to me.